The idea and concept came from when a few of Jerry's sons decided that they didn't really want to go to college. So he said, if you're not going to go to college, you're going to start a business. Therefore, the burger trade started. And the first one was opened in 1986 in Arlington, Virginia. And that is where it was, right in the middle of a strip mall. Five Guys was franchised back in 2003, just 17 short years after they opened. And now it sits with over 1,000 locations. I believe they have 1,500 in the making, and they have several locations opening up internationally. From 2006 to 2012, they were continuously named the fastest growing fast food chain in the country, which is pretty cool for being such a young company. The menu hasn't changed a lot over the years from 1986 to now. They have added a few things, but they haven't really changed it too much. The original menu had burgers, fries, all of the same toppings, a veggie sandwich, and a grilled cheese sandwich, hot dogs, and fountain drinks. They only ever used fresh beef and peanut oil for their fries, fresh beef for their burgers, obviously. They have 15 different topping options. This is the same as to their current menu right now. They dabbled with coffee in the early stages of making their menu, but they never really went anywhere with it. The changes to their menu and how they've adapted over the years is they added more options for the veggie sandwich. So they have a veggie cheese and a BLT. They added shakes in 2014. This was something they were skeptical about because they didn't want freezers in their stores because of their beef, and they always wanted to use fresh beef. And they were nervous if they added too many freezers, they would start freezing their meat. Some locations sell beer. This is very, very rare because they don't think it fits their style. However, in these very few locations, it does. They have 250,000 different types of combinations that you could do with all of their sandwiches, all of their shakes. Some of them means that you could create a patty melt, a burger bowl, cheese fries, things that you wouldn't see on the menu. Very similar to In-N-Out, but it's not technically a secret menu. It's just the combinations that you could do with it.
So this is Five Guys' environmental analysis of their competition. So Five Guys' main competition would be companies like In-N-Out Burger and McDonald's, Whataburger, Sonic Drive-In. Essentially any large fast food chain that primarily focuses on like burgers and like fries and milkshakes. In comparison, Five Guys is generally of a better quality than a lot of fast food burger places. They're a little pricier, and they're considered better than places like McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's, and generally on like the same level as like Whataburger and In-N-Out Burger. So as far as economics goes, obviously COVID would affect them a lot. With sick workers, obviously, they can be short-staffed, as well as people that don't want to work. People that are afraid to go out, so they have less customers. This can equate to them making less money. And then as far as inflation goes, they have to raise their prices to match inflation, which can be tough, as well as cutting portion sizes. And both of these can cause less customers because nobody wants to pay more for less food. With technology, obviously online ordering has become a very big thing with like fast food chains. So a lot of them have implemented like ordering online, and then customers enjoy the convenience of just ordering on a website and then going in and like picking up their food. And then delivery services like DoorDash and Uber Eats, a lot of fast food chains have partnered with them to make it even more accessible for the customers to get their food. And to not be partnered with services like these can prove fatal. And socioculturally, so obviously COVID-19 is a big issue because Five Guys needs to stay aware of like COVID's effects on customers if they want to keep making money. So they would have to have mask mandates for their employees, a lot of carry-out options for people that don't want to eat in, as well as like consistent sanitizing of like tables and counters in their restaurants. And then they should also stay environmentally conscious. Obviously that's become a big thing. So less plastics like straws and spoons, carry out containers, as well as proper treatment of the animals that are used in their products.
Marketing objectives and performance. Five Guys only uses word of mouth advertising, which means that they don't advertise traditionally like most places do. They don't have big billboards or online anything. Their only advertising comes from people, and they believe that their products will market themselves. Because they only use word of mouth advertising, it means that their target market is very small and they have very loyal customers. If you go to a new city, you might be looking at big billboards to see what types of restaurants they have, and you won't see them. So that will make loyal customers, go on Google and search and see if there is a Five Guys in the area. They take pride in making their food fresh and sustainable. They have signs on the wall saying there isn't a freezer in the joint. It's fresher than fresh. They use peanut oil to cook with, and their ethics, they like to give the customers a good experience, but they're also very kind of like stuck in their ways. They believe that they should use the things that got them to this point to keep succeeding.
Is it not working?
Okay, so I am the marketing mix, and for the product, they share very widely in their restaurants that the potatoes come from certain places in the country. Again, like she was saying, there's not a freezer in the joint. It's never frozen. And then they also have a very close relationship with the transportation for their product. They haven't changed who their transporter is, even though the cost might be higher just because of those relationships. They really value them. The menu is simple, but because of the loyalty the customers usually have, they know what they want. If they want to switch something up, there's lots of possibilities, as we said before. And they're passionate about never cutting corners. For the place, most restaurants look almost identical. They want like a hometown, family-run feel. So they want a similar experience for customers in each of their locations. The kitchen is open concept, so you can see what your food looks like when it's being made. It gives a transparency to the product. They now have a mobile app, like we stated before, and it's like a McDonald's kiosk. You can go up, and then they also have DoorDash and stuff like that. So they've changed their ways a little bit. And then they also have a point of sale system for each location. So it gives regional trends, staff management, and reducing waste for each location. The price, like we said before, it's a little more expensive than your average fast food place because you're paying for quality. The meat isn't frozen. They really care about the product. It says that there's two slices of tomatoes per sandwich, which is kind of cool, even when it's not in season. And so they truly care about where it's from, how the products are shipped, how it's prepared, and how it's displayed for each customer. They care about the experience. And then promotion, like we said before, they've never had like a public relations manager or anything like that because it is through word of mouth. They believe that the loyal customers are truly the people who will share it to their family and friends if they really think it's a great place. And they used to not deliver to anyone. There's a story of them, like the Pentagon calling a Five Guys, and they were like, no, we don't deliver to anyone, including the Pentagon. But like I said before, now they have the app and DoorDash stuff.
Okay, so hello, I'm David Limita. I'm going to be covering the SWOT analysis for Five Guys. For those of you that aren't doing the SWOT analysis, so this is basically the stat sheet for the company. Going to cover the strengths, the weaknesses, and then also what they're going to do in the future, so the opportunities and threats. So starting off, One of the obvious things about Five Guys, if you ever go there, it's gonna be the quality of their food. Very good hamburgers, very good sides, a little bit simple. The menu is going to be a little bit limited compared to the other place. We'll get to that more in the weaknesses. One of the other strengths I posted was homegrown. This is a kind of broad concept that really is part of their brand. It's a very strong part of Five Guys. It's meant to convey that, like, they spread through word of mouth. They are very traditional, very simple. You don't go to Five Guys because you're like trying to get some fancy burger or you're trying to get this special thing. You're going there for a burger, for your burger. And then we'll get to the strengths. You can get quality in a local restaurant, and you can get homegrown stuff in just a local place, but you can't get the reach that Five Guys has. You won't find your local restaurant in a city that you move to. You might find a Five Guys. This Five Guys reach is really something that's very important for them. It allows them to get revenue from different sources, and it spreads out their brand a bit more. Some of the weaknesses is the high prices. You've heard about this before. These burgers aren't going to be something that you can purchase every day. They're not exactly designed to be something that you purchase every day. This is something that you get once a week, probably more like once a month, special occasions, and they really try to gear it towards that kind of person. Other weaknesses that I kind of touched on earlier is the variety. You're going to Five Guys for a simple burger. The weakness is that you only are getting a burger. You're only getting fries. They haven't really been able to reach out and create new products. They have a few with their, I think it was shakes and a few locations that are there for beer, but you're not going there for those items. You're going there for the burger. You're going there for the Five Guys plate. Another weakness is stagnation. Another thing that's kind of been touched on already. Five Guys likes what they're doing. They don't really want to do anything very different than what they're doing. And that's good, because what they're doing is very good. We covered that in the strength. But going into the future, it might cause trouble if people changes taste and such like that. We'll get to that more in the threats. So next, moving on to opportunities. Some of the things that they could do is new items. They have a limited menu, which means every new item is going to be that much more emphasized. You see a burger, a new burger at McDonald's, and you might not even pay attention to it. But if Five Guys is getting a new burger, you're going to want to see what that's about, because they have a really good quality reputation. They make good burgers. So what they're bringing out, because they don't bring stuff out very often, it's going to be good. Another opportunity is marketing. It's just simply because they don't do it. They could easily spread their brand a lot more through some marketing. It's tricky because they rely on that homegrown word of mouth, but it's certainly something that they could use to expand their brand more. Another opportunity is expansion. So it's already very wide-reaching. They're in 49 of the 50 states, but in international markets, they're spreading right now, and I think that's a really great idea for them to do. One of the ones that I really liked was they're spreading into the Australian market. I think that's a great opportunity for them, and I'd like to see more from that from them in the future. So next is going to be threats. It's the shifting pace. This is it's going to be quite literal in, like, people don't like burgers now, or like less people like burgers now. It's more of a long-term trend. You might see people like shift to more of a Chipotle kind of like wraps and taco style of thing. But really, this is more going to be seen in the brand. Do people really want a simple burger anymore, or do they want something that is more like a Shake and Shack and that will kind of boost their community? Because when you go to a Five Guys, you're going there to say something about yourself. Like, I am a Five Guys person that eats at Five Guys. I have some loyalty there. And then their next threat is going to be brand tarnishing. Because you're going there for like the reputation of the brand, it really matters that they keep that brand in high esteem. You don't want to tarnish that, or else you tarnish the entire company. And then the last threat is rising costs. They already are a very expensive burger, and you don't want to make it so expensive that it becomes something that you don't even have the money for, like once a month. And that is the entire SWOT analysis. I'll hand it off to Lizzie.
Alright, so I'm, no, excuse me, I'm covering the case study analysis, the competitor. We chose Shake Shack. So just quickly, Shake Shack was founded back in 2004 in July in New York City. It was just your small little shack. Five Guys and Shake Shack, they kind of target the same age group. They both target millennials, but Shake Shack likes to go for people who don't mind dishing out a little bit more on money and maybe someone who wants to change it up a little bit more. Versus Five Guys, they target people who value tradition, consistency, and like your good old like American fashion burger and like burger joint. Shake Shack, they also offer, like when you look at their menu, you see more wide variety of options, which could be a big competition issue with Five Guys. But Five Guys, when you look at their menu, it might look very basic, but you can add all of these condiments and toppings at no extra charge to you. There you go. Both Shake Shack and Five Guys, they want to offer, they're more of a premium fast food restaurant versus something like your typical McDonald's, Wendy's, or Burger King. Shake Shack specifically, they want to like provide a more fine dining experience on it. Shake Shack, they do offer alcohol as well, more locations than most, versus Five Guys with only a very limited selection offering alcohol. But they actually have no kids menu, which many millennials these days, they have families, they have children, and not offering kids menu or smaller portions can deter people from wanting to dine out at their restaurant. Not all of their products are fresh versus Five Guys. Some of their things like fries, they are frozen, which is a lot of people want to stay away from. They want fresh, prepared food every day. They do offer more vegetarian, vegan-friendly options than Five Guys, which is another thing that a lot of people in our generation look for these days as well. And here is all our works cited. And then I will open the floor to questions.